Alright, so today I'm going to show you guys the AGS-17. This is the Ukrainians' grenade launcher, automatic grenade launcher. Later on you'll see the TOATs for them. But right now, this is what it comes in. You have the base assembly, you have the sight box right here, you have the main weapon, and you have the ammo box, which we've nicknamed the snail. Alright? So in the sight box, you'll see the sight itself, okay, pulls right out. It's extremely similar to our C2 sight, right? And you have a battery pack, which actually powers this if you want to use it at night. They don't use the sticks. Alright, so the legs. Locking lever, lock, unlock. All you do is lift them up and then close it back down to lock it. Do that on all three legs. It's basically a tripod. The front one goes to the front of the enemy, and then the rear goes to the back. Okay. On top, you have a pin. Pulls out. It's spring-loaded. You'll have to pull this out to insert the back of the weapon. Also, you'll notice that there's lugs right here. The weapon fits right on the lugs. In the back right here, elevation, depression. Close it and move it for fine-tuning. And right here, this little one, alright, it's a lever. Unlock, lock. Once it's unlocked, it rotates left and right. Also, you have these black markers on either side. These can be adjusted for either arcs of fire or if you have FPFs. Alright? The weapon system itself. It's not as heavy as the C16, but it's pretty heavy. So once you put them in the clips, bring it down, pull the pin that I was mentioning earlier, and it locks in place. And then you can depress it again. Alright. Handles just pull out. If you pull on the handles, you'll be able to bring them back or back in. Alright. If you come to this side, there's the assembly for the sight. So this is the sight assembly. Alright. Locks, unlocks. Pull the sight out. You'll notice the silver tube. Put it in. And it locks. Alright, just like a C2 sight. With the drum, or the snail as we called it. Alright? You'll notice on top of it, it's got an arrow. Alright? Just like the RPK, the rounds will come out of this. The arrow points towards the enemy. Alright? The way you put it on, the top of the gun has to be open. Puts it on from the top and then just clicks in. On the back, there's a lever to unlock the box. That is how you put the AGS-17 together. So right now what we're going to show you guys is the AGS-17, how to disassemble it. Basically field stripping the weapon itself. My demonstrator here is going to do the actions, and then I will talk you through what they were. So go. First he cocks the weapon, puts it on safe. Pulls the feed tray out of 45 with the feed pause. The feed tray will just come right off as such. On the right side of the weapon, you pull the lever and you turn it up as such, which lets you remove the pin for the top cover. So the top cover just lifts off, and this allows the back to open up so you can remove the block. You then remove the top face of the block. On the inside left, there's now a rod. All you have to do is twist and pull it out. That's the locking lever for the buffer. Once that's out, the buffer will remove easily. Once that's done, there's a black knob right here. My demonstrator will pull it and remove the barrel. And that's the extent that we'll take it apart. There are ways to take the block apart. However, it's very complicated, and the pieces are very, very small. So we do not partake in that. This is as far as we go. Put it together, just like any weapon system, you just go in reverse order. When inserting the front portion, ensure that it's flush. So once the weapon is put back together, you perform the function test for this weapon. Weapon does not fire, passes the function test. That was the disassemble and the reassemble of the AGS-17. Alright, good morning. This morning I will be showing you the AGS-17 bore sighting procedure. My two helpers here will demonstrate the bore sighting procedure, and I will interject when necessary to explain what they are doing. To begin, in this black case is the AGS-17 bore sighting kit. 3 latches, remove them. This is the AGS-17 bore sighting kit. The silver end fits right into the barrel. At the firing end, you'll have a telescope and a bubble. So there are 2 ways of bore sighting it. You can either bore sight the traverse or the elevation first. For this purpose, we are going to bore sight the traverse first. Point to note,
Over to the left.
to bore sight this weapon system, you have to be at a minimum, correction, the target has to be at a minimum of 650 meters away. We are bore sighting the traverse. So we will pick a target, substantial target at 650 meters or plus,
back just a tad,
and put the elevation arrows on it.
and one more like that. There you go. We're on for line.
Once the line is on, you'll confirm through the optical sight. So now, on the elevation, on the other side of the sight, as he'll demonstrate, there's a silver screw. He will unscrew that with his Gerber tool, and the ring, he will slide the ring until it reaches 0. Once the ring reads 0, he will retighten the screw. Point to note, on the traverse, there's one big silver screw. On the elevation, there are 4 little screws. Now that the traverse is on, they'll move to the elevation.
Okay, drop. Keep going.
This at this point, number 2 is going to be looking through the bubble.
Keep going. Keep going. Just a little bit more. One. Okay, go back up. Keep going. Keep going. Tiny, tiny, tiny. And stop.
So once that the bubble is in the center, we'll adjust the bubble on the sight itself. And once that bubble is centered, he will do the same procedure as he did with the traverse. He'll unscrew the screws and place the silver ring to 0. A point to note on the weapon system itself, the Ukrainians do not like sandbagging it in. Therefore, if you're going to get up, bore sight, or fire, do not put any pressure on the legs, because it will change point of aim. We're good? So once the ring reads 0, and the traverse ring reads 0, the bore sighting is complete. You will obviously confirm this with a live fire round to make sure you're on target. So this has been the bore sighting for the AGS-17. Alright, so right now we're going to go through the TOETs for the AGS-17. Their version of the grenade launcher. I'll say the words of command the way Canadians do it on a range, and then I will repeat them in Ukrainian because they do their drills differently. So right off the bat, on the side here, you'll notice there's the safety, okay? Just so nobody gets confused. So, individual safety precautions. Go. Clear. Good. With a 28 round drum, load. Jetted Zai. Enemies to your front. Go on. Vohan. Weapons firing. Weapons firing. Weapons stops. So the number 2 inspects the drum, ensures that the link is being fed as the number 1 cocks the action. And then they continue firing. the weapon still fails to fire. So all that happened is the fire cocked the weapon, put it on safe, open the feed tray. Number 2 inspects the rounds and the link, make sure it's seated properly. Number 1 then closes the feed tray, takes it off safe, and continues firing. These are the only TOATs that Ukrainians have for this weapon system. Unload. Rozjay. Clear. So once the weapon is unloaded, like every other Ukrainian weapon system on the firing line, he will clear the action and the ARSO will stay until he hears the trigger being fired. This is extremely important. Okay. Also, when pulling back the cord, okay, the best way to describe it is like a lawnmower. You cannot ride it. If you ride the cord or the action, right, it will create stoppages. Also, 1 in every 100 rounds are expected to go off once you cock the action. All right, this is just the way their weapon systems work. It's not 100% foolproof. Excuse me. You cock the action and let it go forward, it might strike the primer and the round might fire on its own. Alright? Statistics of that happening are very slim, however, you should be aware that it might happen. These were the TOATs for the AGS-17.